Solid support isn't about intensity. It's about safety and alignment. It took me years to figure out what safety, real safety, was in friendship. I thought it was because we're familiar with each other. I thought it was longevity. Some people believe that proximity means alignment. It does not. Because would you still be friends if you didn't live in the same city? Would you still be friends if you didn't talk every day? The true test of friendship is not getting in an argument and coming back and being able to talk it out. It's not just that. It is, are we going in the same direction? Do you value friendship in the same way that I do? Do you value closeness? Do we have the same emotional depth? That's alignment. Not simply because you live near each other, not simply because you talk every day. What I have noticed within myself is that I was friends with people simply because I liked them. Funny, right? Sometimes we are friends with people because we like them. And because we like them, we think that they're meant to remain in our lives. But I had to identify my core needs when it came to friendship. And these past few months, especially after going through a really tough friendship breakup, I identified what I needed in a friendship. And when I say what I needed, I mean things that were non-negotiable. And I needed space to grow. I need my friends to grow. There was a specific time where, when I was going through that difficult friendship breakup, not only was I not given the space to grow, I was not given the space to grieve. That's not safety. And it shook something in my foundation. It wasn't immediate, because things like that never are. And when you're in therapy, it's not an immediate process. Things tend to unravel slowly. And you start to, sometimes your brain is in a fog, and then you know how the fog slowly lifts and until you're able to see the road clearly? That's how it was for me. And in that moment, I realized that this is not a safe situation, nor is this a safe friendship for me. So I began to pull back. In that moment of clarity, I realized what I really needed. And I got that in people who are more aligned with who I am. And I saw the contrast. The people who gave me space to grieve and grow through that were people who told me, you can talk about this as many times as you want. Because when you're going through something as traumatic, when you're going through something as hurtful as a heartbreak, romantic or platonic, you need people who give you space to approach it from different avenues, because you're just trying to understand in that moment. You are spinning in your mind. You have thought loops. Everything is going on in your mind, and you need somewhere to put it on the table. And if you don't have a safe space to do that, you have therapy, but you need places outside of therapy. If you don't have a safe space to do that, then you're stuck with those emotions alone. So when I was able to put that all on the table with people who are more aligned with me, people who love me, that's when I realized this is what I need. This feels safe. The friends who showed up for me in that moment, they gave me grace and they let me fall apart. They didn't leave me there. Even while I was broken, they had already made space for the new and improved Kara, because they knew that I was going to grow from that situation. And from that point forward, I knew that that's what I want in every single relationship that I have, because I want my romantic relationships to model after my friendships. The standard that I now have in my friendships, that's the standard for everybody. I'm no longer overfunctioning and overextending myself or shrinking myself when I'm hurt. I'm not the strong friend. I put down that performance of being a strong friend. Sometimes I'm weak. Sometimes I need to cry. Sometimes I need to fall apart. And I need people by my side that allow me to do that. And even though my friends made space for me to grow, I had to learn to nurture those aligned friendships. Because keep in mind, I was a person who used to overfunction in unaligned friendships because I was trying to earn love. So I had to learn how to now nurture people who I didn't have to perform for. And that was a learning curve for me, because I've never done that before. And I would always ask myself, why do I not feel that intensity with these people who I know love me, I know support me, and gave me space? Why do I not feel that intensity? Because I wasn't used to safety. I wasn't used to being calm in a friendship. I wasn't used to not anticipating needs of other people. I realized that you don't have to have the intensity. Sometimes that's just a rush of unmet needs coming to the surface, and y'all starting to attach yourself together instead of actually building a connection. So now I don't confuse that intensity for alignment anymore. Now I look for the calmness. Now I look for the safety. How does my nervous system feel around you? That is an identifier for me of what aligned friendship is, what aligned relationships are, what aligned situations are, not just in friendships, but in my life. Do I feel calm in this situation? And don't get me wrong, some things are meant to stretch us, to grow us. But I know the difference between anxiety, nervousness, and me overextending and what is meant to grow me. I have the discernment now to know the difference, and I'm thankful for that. So tell me, what have you learned about yourself when it comes to relationships? What are some of your core needs that are non-negotiable for you in your relationships? Tell me, drop it below in the comments. This is Kara Speaks, and I'll see y'all next time.